Start. Okay, so today's topic is about how do we go and actually deploy a website using multiple services of AWS. And the primary things over here will be Route 53, ACM, S3 website, and CloudFront, or the CDN, or the Content Delivery Networks. Now, there is a probability that you don't understand all these concepts, and that is perfectly fine. But in case you do, this all should make pretty much sense to you, and you should be able to understand what actually is going on. So this is how we actually go and deploy the websites inside AWS using our CDN network. Now, CDN network is used more in the global infrastructure when instead of having the websites inside your servers, which are connected via the load balancers, and if required, the global accelerators, you can go and also do it inside the CDN networks. Now, in interest of our time, because we have to go and see this live into action, we'll straight away start with Route 53. So actually, I do have a domain over here, and this domain is on this particular name, ankitsaxena.live. So eventually, if everything goes good, I should see some data coming up inside this website. Right now, I don't see anything, and that is perfectly fine because there is no data available over here as of now. But in some time, I should actually see few things coming up over here, or at least a web page. So to do that, it will require 4 steps. First is your Route 53, or the mapping of your records. Second is creation of your website using your CloudFront. Then hosting your website, that is going to happen on your S3, and then securing your website, which is going to mean encryption in transit. That is going to happen via ACM or Amazon Certificate Manager. So let's get started. Step 1 is our Route 53 that actually takes the most amount of time also. And you're never sure how much time it will take, because theoretically it should take approximately 48 to 72 hours for you to propagate the changes. So let's try out our luck and see if it happens earlier. First thing first, open up Route 53, get started. I want to go and create my own hosted zone. This is the new module that you have over here. If you want to go to the old console, that can also be done. So you can go and try out any one of them. So right now, the DNS management. So get started now. I want to go and create a hosted zone. For that, create, give the name. You can give the comments you have. This is the sample public website, and that's a public website, and click on create. Now, if everything is done, it's going to give you 2 important records. First is the NS, and second is the SOA. Now, NS is the most important thing for you, because your DNS provider and how the mapping of your websites are all done actually happens by the namespace servers itself, or the NS actually. Okay, so the name servers and the SOA, which is the start of authority, which basically will tell that how is this website actually being controlled. In our Route 53 class, we have actually talked a lot about root servers and our dig. Those of you who have not done, I'm going to do that somehow sometime this week. You can see it over there. But for now, we'll just go and take in this first record, go back to Route 53 and GoDaddy. And I'm going to tell GoDaddy that I don't want to use your name server. So have a look here. The name servers, which are this, I'm not going to use your name servers. Rather, I'm going to use the ones from AWS. So for that, just go copy this as it is. So let's do that. This part, copy, and click on change over here and enter my own name servers, this part, second, and this. Now, remember, don't put the dot over there. The dot is for AWS. Okay, so in case you use that, we are going to understand that shortly. What does it mean? The third one, which comes over here, this one, and then the fourth one. Now, this name NS are generally not constant. They are going to change from account to account or from the person to person. So it's not like you can always go and use the same ones. Everyone will have their own set of NS. Fine. I consent, click on continue. And at this point of time, just hold on, sit back, because this is going to take its own sweet time to go and do the update. As you would have seen up in the toaster message here itself, it says that it should be done within the next 48 hours. So I'm just hoping that it should happen shortly. Anyhow, if you see, it shows up these details, but I pressed Command R on my system right now, and now the DNS records is not showing to you, and the reason for that is the NS are not maintained by GoDaddy, rather it is now maintained by AWS. So first part of the job is done for us. Let's hope that it will show up over here pretty shortly. Next thing is to go and work on our website. So for that, what I'll do is I'll go to my S3 and I will create my bucket, which should be hosting my website. Now, in short, you can, in theory, actually, you can go and get any website. At the end of the day, if it has certain HTML pages and the JS pages, it should be good for you. So that is what we are also going to do. So what I'll do is I'll go and create a bucket of my domain, and my domain is this. Now, why am I naming it like this? Because it makes it easy for me to go and manage the bucket. So I basically find it easier. The bucket name is also same, website name is also same. So I do it that way. You are free to go and choose whatever way you want. ACL enabled, bucket owners preferred. I want to unblock the access, acknowledge. I want to enable the bucket versioning. If you want to enable encryption, you can go and do that. That in short will mean that the data at rest or encryption in rest is also enabled. For in transit, we are going to use ACMs or Amazon Certificate Managers anyway. So click on create bucket over here. Now, if a bucket by that name is already existing, it will give you an error like you see over here. For that, I believe I am the person who actually owns that bucket. Yes. So we'll go and delete that bucket. I can't delete it because first I have to go and empty the bucket. So let's go and type this thing here and permanently delete. And if everything is done, exit. And now let's go and try to delete the bucket. So this part here, this here, and delete the bucket. Now the bucket is deleted. So in short, I can go and create the bucket again. Same old story. This, I want the ACLs. Bucket owner, I want to unblock all the public access. Bucket versioning, I'm disabling it because in reality, if you enable it, you will start to go and upload data inside the bucket, and bucket versioning is enabled. So it will start to incur charges on your account. In production account, we generally enable the bucket versioning because we don't want any sort of data loss. And in case I want to do a revert back, theoretically, I can do that. So for that reason, I enable the bucket versioning. So encryption you want, you can enable it. You don't want to disable it. In my case, because it's a public website anyhow at the end of the day, so I'm disabling it. But in reality, you might want to go and enable that. Advanced setting, object lock, I am disabling, and I click on create bucket. Now, if everything is done, the only job left for me is to go and create a HTML page and upload it over here. As simple as that. So for that, let's go and get a hello world HTML page, and any one of them should do for you. This part, and let's go down and get somewhat complex one. This here, let's put it here, and Visual Studio Code, I am pasting it. You are free to choose any editor. It can be Atom, it can be Nano, it can be Vim, it can be even Notepad. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. So let's give the name over here, and let's give some text over here. Hello, this is the sample page on Sunday, 20th February. Okay, and let's just save it. And I'm saving it on the desktop by the name of index.html. Okay, so my file is up and running over here. Next part is simply to go and do the upload. For that, click on upload, click on add files here, index.html, open, and the permissions, just go and make it grant public read access because I want everyone to go and view that particular bucket or the content inside it. And this, and needless to say, because I didn't choose any storage class, so it would have gone and selected as the standard storage class itself. So if I click on close over here, I can see standard storage class. Now, if I go to this object over here, first thing what you will do is just open this object URL, and you should see something coming up. But remember, this is not your website. This is just s3apsouth1.amazonaws.com / your bucket name / the file name, which is index.html. Now you will see something like this, google.com, right? You won't be seeing something like this, google.com / index.html, though both the things are perfectly fine. And this will also open up the Google page, and this will also open up the Google page, but we don't want to give / index.html or index.php, things like that inside our website. So for that reason, what we'll be doing here is we want to go and set it on our domain. And what is the domain? This domain, ankitsaxena.live over here. This is the first thing that I want to do. And the second thing is I don't want to give this slash index.html over here. So these two things are required. And thirdly, this certificate, if you see, connection is secured, certificate is valid. The certificate is issued to epsouth1.amazonaws.com. It is not issued to your website, rather it is issued to amazonaws.com. So multiple things that we have to do over here. So let's start with the first thing now. Now that my bucket is all set, the only thing left is to click on properties and go to my static website hosting. Don't be confused by this word of static website hosting. This theoretically simply means that you can go and put in some index.html pages or the JavaScript files or the static pages. It simply means that if you go and upload any of the HTML files over here, it will go and work the way. So we have actually uploaded Angular files also over here. We have uploaded our Vue.js files and React files also. It works the same until it's a HTML and it's some JavaScript files. It will work the way it has to. So what I'll do now is I'll just go to my static website hosting, click on edit, enable, and I'll tell that I want to host a static website and my website homepage is index.html. So this part here. Now, if you have the error page, generally you can go and put something like error.html or error-404.html, something like that. I don't have it as of now, so I'm not uploading it. Though in reality, you ideally go and write something over here. Also, if you want to do it at your application level, like Angular itself can have the routes or React itself can have the routes, that also is possible. You can do it either at this level or at the application level or at the server level. Anyway, so click on save changes over here. And now if everything is done, if you go to this endpoint and hit this, you should see something like this coming up. Pay attention, it now does not say slash index.html. Now the problem here is it does not say it here. It says index.html. It is HTTPS. My website does not say index.html, but it says HTTP. So that's the first problem. However, my website hosting part has been done completely. So it had to be uploaded on my S3. It has been uploaded on my S3. And this is what my website looks like. But it says HTTP over here. And that is a problem for me. So for that, what I will be doing now is instead of hosting it on HTTP, rather I'll be hosting it on HTTPS. Or I want to go and enable the SSL certificates on this particular website. Now, certificates can be done via multiple ways. It can be done on Let's Encrypt. I'm going to tell you inside your DevOps class how to do that inside Let's Encrypt. It can be done via, you can go and buy a SSL certificate from the market. Actually, just hit SSL certificates and you will get so many SSL certificates over here. Okay, you can go and take it from any one of them. You can even take it from GoDaddy, by the way. Okay, so that you can do. However, AWS gives us a smarter way to get SSL certificates, and that actually happens via a service of ACM, Amazon Certificate Manager. So for that, introducing the next service or part 2 of our class right now, ACM or Amazon Certificate Manager. Now, because I want to do this inside CloudFront, for that reason, I will be choosing the ACM as North Virginia. However, if it were inside my local place, like let's say Mumbai, or my ELBs or ALBs or the GLBs or the NLBs were in Mumbai, in that case, I would have chosen Mumbai. But because I have to work on CDNs or CloudFront, for that reason, I have to choose North Virginia, or else my CDNs are not going to work. More about it, deep discussion inside the class. What is the meaning of this right now? Practical. So let's get away with it. So for this, what I'll do is I click on request a certificate. I want to request a public certificate. Click on next, give your domain name. My domain name happens to be this. So let's get this here, remove this part here. And I want to create it for this particular domain. Okay. Also, I want to put it for something like, let's say star.ankitsaxena.live. So it might be something like resume.ankitsaxena.live, or it might be something like aws.ankitsaxena.live, something like that. Okay. It can also be www.ankitsaxena.live. Okay. Anyhow, that is covered inside my star. So I don't have to worry. these two domains I am creating the certificate for. Now, if you find bit problem in understanding this, go back here or go back to your website over here or any website you open for that sake. Click on the certificate on the top and you will see that this certificate has been created for this particular website. And if you click on trust over here and on details, it will tell you that for what website it has been created. So this has been created for www.len-html.org. Similarly, if you go to your S3 bucket, connection is secure, certificate is valid. This has been created for star.s3ap south 1. So before this star, you can have your name also, you can have http, you can have https, you can have www, anything in that regards. Okay, so in my case, I generally select star because it's a smarter way. You don't have to go and create multiple certificates. Also, if you go and try to create multiple certificates, there is a generic error that you see. So from one domain to the next domain, if you have to go and transfer the data, you generally start to see the certificate errors. So for no reason, your browsers will start prompting you that this website was created for server 1. However, you are being redirected to server 2. Are you sure? It gives a bad user experience. So for that reason, put star so that you can manage every website from there. Okay. Next, how do you want to validate that you are indeed the owner of this website? For that, I'll choose in DNS validation over here. Unfortunately, I won't be taking any questions in this class. You can ask in the normal class if you have any questions for this one. Okay, so, okay, fine. If you have something, you might want to type it on the chat window. I might or might not answer it today. In the class, though, I'll be sure to answer that. Okay, because if you start asking me, the class is disturbed and we don't want that to happen in the live demo classes actually, or the live classes. Okay, so in my case, I have chosen the domain. This is my qualified domain, and DNS validation I have anyhow selected. Next part is to click on request, and that's pretty much it actually. If you go over here and see, the certificates will be issued to you almost immediately if the certificates are created. So in this case, what I'll do is let me delete it because I unfortunately had the certificates already with me. So this part, if you see, I have created this. And how do you ensure that it was done to, sometime back only, requested on Feb 20, 2022, sometime back. The only thing left now is to go and add this in Route 53. So go back to Route 53 over here and just refresh the page and you will still see only two records coming up. Okay, 1 and 2, two of them. However, if you go to ACM and click on create records in Route 53 and click on create records, now if you go back and just refresh the page, in some time you are going to see new records are coming up over here, right? If you see this part happening, no, you can be assured that, okay, Route 53 settings have been done and my ACM certificates are almost ready to be done. Again, remember, this takes somewhere around 48 to 72 hours to get issued. So this might take some time. However, if you do see the entries coming up over here, rest be assured it will take time, but it will be done. If you don't see this thing itself coming up over here, no, then there's a problem. Either the Route 53 entries have not been done properly or something has gone wrong in that case. Fine. Okay, anyways, let's just wait for the certificate to get issued over here. Now, it's not important. Let's go and do one more thing. So let's go back to our region of Mumbai. Now, it's not important that the certificates only have to be created in North Virginia. It can be done in any region actually. So let's take, for instance, example of Mumbai, where I'll just go and remove the existing certificate and again go and create the new certificates. Now, the error that you will do over here is, let's just refresh it, and pending validation is still fine. Let's see which one is pending validation. These two are pending, fair enough. This one is 5D8 triple E. Go back to Route 53, it is 5D8 triple E. Over here, it is 7A6233. Here it is 7A6233. So we are almost in sync. So it's only a matter of time, but it should be done. Okay, fine. Let's go back to Mumbai over here. And this is Mumbai. And let's add something like this and another name and add something like this. And just, what is the error? Extra space. DNS validation, fair enough. This here, click on request. And if everything is good, you should see the certificates coming up. General error that people do is if you don't see anything, you start to panic. Don't panic, just refresh the page. It will eventually show up to you. Okay, now over here, again, you don't see anything. That is perfectly fine. Just go and refresh the page. It will start showing you the records over here. What is it? 5DA triple E. What is it over here? Route 53, if you see, it's the same. 5D8 triple E. So this part is almost there, which means shortly the certificate should be issued to you. Now, this is the thing when we say that inside AWS ACM, it is done. Now, unfortunately for us, Route 53, which we started with North Virginia, right? North Virginia certificates are still pending validation. However, the certificates which we did in Mumbai is already issued to us. So it becomes confusing, but those of you who have done Route 53 understand how the DNS caching is done, understand how it is done at multiple levels, how the root servers are being updated. So we do know that it might feel or it might look like it is a strange thing, but that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Okay, so anyhow, if you go over here and have a look, it was issued on Feb 20, 2022 at 10:20:37. Mumbai, which we started later, actually happened earlier than North Virginia, which actually we did first. So even though I have the certificates in Mumbai issued to me, but unfortunately, as of now, I can't do anything because to work on CloudFront or CDN network, I do need the certificates of North Virginia. What do I mean by that? For that, let's go back and go back to our website over here. This part you see is all HTTP, right? This part I just have to go and make it on HTTPS. So let's just see. Okay, fair enough. Issued. Fine, happened earlier than we anticipated. Good for us. The certificates are done. So going back, 3 steps. First, S3, website. So create a bucket. Second, upload your data inside the bucket, which is index.html. Third, properties, static website hosting, give the address, done. The problem here is it's all good, but my website is on HTTP, which I don't like, isn't it? So step 2, go back to your Route 53, go and create a hosted zone, validate that hosted zone. It will give you NS. Go back to your home provider, which can be GoDaddy, which can be BigRock, which can be whatever provider, Namecheap or whatever providers you have. Go back, update these name servers inside that particular domain provider. Third step, if this part is done, Route 53, half of the job is done. Third step, go back to your ACM, Amazon Certificate Manager, especially the certificate inside North Virginia. Go and click on request, go for request, give the domain name, and hold on and click on Route 53 and click on add records. Once that is done, you should start to see new entries popping up over here inside Route 53. If you see that, basically that in short means that almost everything is done. Last step, once that is done inside my CloudFront, generally it doesn't work out immediately, honestly. It takes time. So what I do for that is I go to another new region straight away and I upload the data over there, or I create the certificates there also. What happens is generally new regions, always it will happen earlier than the host region, whatever you requested. That is because of the caching of the root servers. Anyways, I saw inside Mumbai it was done. So I now know it will take time, but it will happen inside North Virginia also. So next step, I went to my North Virginia certificate is issued. Fair enough. Almost there. Route 53, 90% of the job is done. Only one thing is left. What? Third step, CDN or AWS CloudFront Distribution Network. How are your websites actually mapping from your domain to AWS CDNs? For that, click on create now. Again, you have the old version, you have the new versions. Sometimes it does error out, yes. But if it does, no worries, go and do it again. It will work. Hopefully it should work for us. So just go copy this domain here, put it over here, remove this from here. If everything is done, nothing else to do. I want my website to work on HTTPS. And even if it works on HTTP, I want you to redirect me to HTTPS. Okay. And just go and take this. And if you want, you can take get and head, post, whatever options are there on your website, you can use that. Next part over here is I want all the edge locations. Next, I want the alternate domain name. And what is my domain name? This ankitsaxena.live. Okay. Or it can be something like www.this. Okay. Now, next part, my certificate. What certificate? Certificate that I created inside ACM some time back. So why did I choose ACM, or why did I go inside ACM? Just for this step. If it is all done, the websites will show up over here. Go down, and if everything is done, you can click on create distribution, and your distribution will be created. Almost there. 95% of the job of your website creation is done. Whenever you talk about AWS and the websites, no, this is what you do. So first thing that you do is just go here, hit this address. You should see your website coming up. You don't see it right now, right? Because your distribution is still into deploying state. Let it happen for some time. So let's wait for this to happen, because unfortunately, until this happens, I can't do anything. And don't go to next step. What I am going to tell you in reality, in 5 minutes, I'll anyhow tell you what is done. So what people do is they straight away jump to route 53 and start creating the record set. That can be done, but you don't want to do that immediately, because you don't know if this thing is even going to work or not, because you don't know how this network is going to look like. Okay, so go to CloudFront, refresh it, and it says deploying. Just hold on. Okay, let's just wait for some time until this is actually deployed. Okay, so now if everything is done, if you go here and you just refresh the page, you should see something coming up. The interesting part, this part, HTTPS, this part, created for website, which website? For this one, okay? But I want it on my website, isn't it? So now the last step will start. Okay, how do you know? Just have a look at status. And now comes the easy part for us. Copy Route 53, create record set. Nothing. If someone opens up my domain over here, I want you to go to some address, which address, alias name, what, go down to your CloudFront distribution network. So where is that? Here, CloudFront. And what is the CloudFront network name? This part, and remove this part. If everything is good, in this case, you can go and create a record set. I believe, just give me a minute, it looks strange. Let's just go and create it again. Okay, create record set. This part, I want the A record. If someone is forwarding, just 1 minute TTL. Yes. This part, go and remove entire this. So it will anyhow tell you CloudFront distribution network. And yes, if everything is good, and just click on create. And now eventually, if everything is good, you go open up your website in some time, you are going to see this forwards to your CloudFront distribution network. And that in turn will be forwarding you to your CDN, will be forwarding or encrypting it via the ACM certificate, forwarding to your S3 website endpoint, which is going through S3. So 4 things. First, S3 website endpoint. Second, okay, first S3 website endpoint and the data inside it. Second is your ACM for HTTPS. Third is your Route 53 for pointing the address. And fourth is your CDN, or the cloud or distribution network itself. So go back over here in some time. This takes time, yes, like any other thing in Route 53. But if everything is good, inside some time, you should see your data over here is being forwarded to your CloudFront distribution network over here. By the way, this could have been done on the new console itself, which was over here. So this part over here, this one, click on create record, and it will ask you, where do you want to forward the traffic? Just choose whatever you want. Alias name over here, I want you to go to the CloudFront distribution. And why did I choose only certificate in ACM? Because of this part, North Virginia. So still not being okay. Unfortunately, it worked earlier than anticipated again. So I'm just putting the address for you over here inside the chat window in case anyone of you wants to go and have a look at it. So the end part, website creation or the deployment, that is done. Click on your certificate, this part, certificate, and the certificate is now created for this website, which is ankesaxena.live. So if now you go open up the website, which can, by the way, even be on HTTP, still it will open HTTPS. Any other place, if you remember, where you have seen it, opening HTTP will forward you to HTTPS. Classic example of google.com. If you do that, still you see it will forward you to HTTPS. Same thing over here. If you open this website on HTTP, still it will forward you to HTTPS itself. That, in short, is in almost 30 minutes how you can go and deploy your websites using ACM, S3, CloudFront, and Route 53. Done. Okay. Now, have any update on the data or anything that you want to change, go back to your S3, upload the new files over there, and it will get updated. For instance, let's go and try it out. Let's go and put something like here and here, and let's go and write something like maybe this is the new page. Okay, save. Let's go back here. Let's go to our S3 over here. This part, by the way, if you want to change, no worries. You can always go to your Route 53 here, and whatever domain name you have or whatever addresses you have, select that over here. Either you can edit it or you can delete it, depends on whatever way you want to do that. Okay, anyways, going back here, going back to my website, which is this here, let's just go and drag and drop this thing here. This is the new file anyhow. Again, the same old story. This grant public read, understand, and click on upload. And if everything is done, in some time, you will see this thing coming up, new changes. This is coming up on my S3 website. The same thing can also be seen on the website, or maybe it can't be seen. This thing you refresh is still showing you the old page. S3 website is showing you the new page. CloudFront over here is still showing you the old page. Why is this? Why are three different websites behaving in a different way? S3 website is showing me the new page, CDN is showing me the old page, and my CloudFront, which internally is CDN, is still showing me the old page. Why is this happening? How do I ensure that this does not happen and the refresh are done actually immediately? The reason for that is our CDN, Cloud Distribution Network. In short, the changes that you did inside your North Virginia or inside your bucket of Mumbai is being handled via CDNs in North Virginia. So first, Mumbai, it has been updated. So if in case you are looking for website or this particular address on S3 website, it will still show you the new pages. Why? Because you are directly pointing to this one. But if you are hitting CDNs, CDNs are going to take time in actually propagating the latest data from Mumbai to whatever CDNs you are working on, which can be North Virginia. How to fix this? How to ensure things are propagated almost immediately whenever we are doing the change? Two ways. First, pray it happens. Prayers are not working in this case, right? So in this case, certain other things other than prayers are required to ensure that data is updated in CDNs immediately. For that, we have anyhow discussed it in our Route 53, or in the class, we are going to go and discuss the same thing inside Route 53, something out of the syllabus that we want to do right now, but certainly that is a requirement that we do. So in short, that is how you go and create a website using Route 53, S3, CloudFront, and finally ACM or Amazon Certificate Manager.